Hello, world, how are you? We have some Q&A to do. I hope you're doing fine, 'cause it's Q&A time again. Hello, world, how's it going? Hope you guys are all doing well. If not, as always, I hope it gets better for you, so welcome. Welcome to another Friday Night Live Q&A. Where I will be your host, LRB Aquatics. Also, Lucas Bretz is my real name. But anyways, got an awesome community here. If I don't know how to answer your questions, we have a lot of awesome people here that are able to help. So hopefully we can bring you guys some value tonight. We usually do for some people. And we can help you out with your freshwater aquarium problems and needs. So I've been doing this for a while. OG Magnum, glad to see you in here, bro. That's cool. And yeah. So a few updates. Let me hop into the updates here real quick. This next week is gonna be huge. Really, really, really huge for us. Getting that pond built. Aquascape and all those guys, Greg Woodstock and all his master aquascapers and some other people are all going to be coming over and working on that pond. So super, super excited about that. Getting some stuff prepped for that. Just took down a few trees. And that's like the big main thing. That, and we hit 50,000 subscribers this week. Thank you all for sharing, liking, commenting, subscribing, all that stuff, and for all the awesome support. Obviously, I could not be here without you guys, so thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, pretty excited about that 50K. And what else is there? The website, Sarah updated quite a few things on the website, so there is a like fax Q&A section there for like people that have common questions if you're trying to get those answered and whatnot. She did a little bit more redesigning within the website. As far as navigation, all pretty much the same, just a little bit of extra for you guys that have certain questions and whatnot. And I think she did a couple other things, but yeah, so a little progress there on all kinds of sides. And besides that, it's been pretty normal routine around here in the fish room as far as I could recollect right now. So I guess I will pop up into these questions. And hello, 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 all you awesome people in the chat. Farm Fish and Freedom say, hey Lucas, I have a mix of Blue Dream and other wild colors. Will it eventually make them turn muddy color? So it really depends on what kind of colors you have in there. If you let the wild colors dominate, depending on the color of the wild color, because even wild colors can have greenish tints, blue tints, red tints, and other tints. So it all depends on the body and the coloration within the body of that wild shrimp. Now, if you start getting heavy, you start seeing a bunch of browns, and if they start breeding and overbreeding the other colors, then that's when you get your muddy colonies. But if you have enough diversity within your mixed shrimp tank, you won't ever have to worry about that kind of thing. It's pretty easy to navigate around that. All right, hello, 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 hello. Glad to see y'all. Thank you, thank you. Yes, thank you, Candy Overhauls, for reminding me once again about live chat. I always forget. And it's usually a rush to get to this live stream every time too, but you know, it's worth it. Like, you guys support me so much, I would hate to miss one of these live streams. Scroll. Okay, I think I'm back now, caught up on the live. You're welcome, Kim Cunningham. I appreciate your support. You hear Wesley in the background? Yeah, he's having a good old time. He's playing games with his mom. Let's see. Andy M says, can we see those new koi type guppies you bred? You can. Let me see. There are some in here. Kind of got like a purple to them. Let me get my flashlight because it's kind of hard to see without the flashlight. If they would hold still too. But there you can kind of see the coloration on them a lot better with the light. If it would focus. That's a mix between a platinum. Even the females have some color, which is cool. So that's a mix between a platinum and a red and black koi. Still got to replace this light that broke down because I had a tank go down here. I don't know if that happened last week or this week. I can't remember. Time all blurs together. Rainbow tiger antlers, but I mean they're not breeding true. See, that one's not a tiger. That's more of a snake skin or leopard skin type. But they're still awesome. This was the next gen I was working on. But see, yeah, well, look at that oddball up there, the orange one. Big reason why I haven't offered those for sale yet. All right, Carol Cox, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. It says, got my order today. It's great. Are your black shrimp ready yet? Will dwarf neons be back soon? I had fun binge watching your videos with Corey today. Well, that's awesome, Corey. I don't know if that's Corey from Aquarium Co-op, but whoever Corey is, thank you both for binge watching my videos. I appreciate you. As far as the black rose look pretty good. As you can see, there's a little blue and red tint within that. So it's not 100%. I have been sort of working on them. Do need to work on them more than I have. But hopefully I'll have these more ready available soon. If you want to, you can hit up Sarah, and I could probably spare a few for you if you really want some. So hit up Sarah on lrbaquatics.orders@gmail.com, and we should be able to help you. And I appreciate the support. Thank you so much. All right, let me know in the chat, what would you guys rather see, the fish tank or the fish tank in the background, like me talking to you, or would you guys would rather just watch the fish? I'm kind of curious. Let me know in the chat what you guys prefer. So I'm always torn between two. Usually I go back and forth, and that's probably what I'll continue to do, but I'm still curious onto what you guys will say. Thank you, Devaria Mitchell, or Munchin, for throwing that up. Awesome Chubbs, thank you for your order. I appreciate you. Man, all right, scrolling. Ted K says, if you're gonna raise a antler to sell to local fish store, what would you choose? Do they need to be in solo tanks? So what I would do, if you're in that situation looking to do something like that and wanted to provide for your local fish store, what I would do is go to them and ask them what they would prefer you to raise antler-wise. And if they don't know, if they're like, well, we really don't know, I don't know, there's a lot of types out there, blibbity blobbity bloop. Well, you can be like, well, are you looking for rare ones, medium rare ones, more common ones, or certain color ones? And just tell them you can provide that sort of value to them and make some deals, and you guys can work out something to make it hard for them to not cut you a deal. Really, the best thing to do is ask the store owner, though. He's going to know better within his region than anybody else. Rockford Fish Keeping says, I'm on the fence. What do you think I should get? Black rams? Well, considering all you said was, I'm on the fence, what do you think I should get? Black rams. Well, my guess is you should probably get blue rams. I'm just kidding. Obviously, you want black rams. So go get those black rams. And why not? YOLO, you only live once. Get them. And Ty Horton, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Always great to see you in here. Says, I don't remember if I've asked before, but what are your thoughts on dirted aquariums? I'm very tempted to try one out right now. Really love the ecosystems and setups. So actually in the garage, I have a ton of dirted setups where most of them are dirt, but they are either capped with sand or eco-complete or either Brightwell. So, yeah, I like them. And I just use dirt from my backyard. I would probably stay away from like the potting soil so much. Maybe go with garden soil. The manure type too can be tricky. Honestly, if you don't have a backyard that has a bunch of pesticides and other chemicals on it, I would just get it from your backyard, because that stuff is rich in nutrients. Especially if you've got a wooded area and you can get underneath that forest bed, underneath the leaves. That stuff is mighty, mighty fine. And I do have a video on how I process that too, because you are going to want to dry it out. That way you can pretty much kill whatever's in it, or whatever in it is in it can go elsewhere. Kind of spread it out, dry it in the sun if possible, or even baking pan or in the house on something, tarp or whatnot. Alright, boom, boom, boom. Streetwise would say, I would say 80% take video, 10% Lucas's reaction, 10% combo. Well, that sounds like tanks. Doo-doo. It's hard not to watch these tanks. LRB Aquatics, at what point do you euthanize? I don't euthanize. That's not my judgment. I just don't do it. I know some people do it. I don't know. I've yet to see a fish where I was like, oh crap, he just looks so bad that I gotta put him out of his misery. I just haven't been there. Like I have a lot of goofy fish, and I've seen some of these goofy fish live the best lives out of any other fish I've had. So it's really hard to tell when to euthanize. It's really, it's a tough decision too. Well, don't be offended if you say you like the tank better. That's why I asked. I want to ask you guys a question I'm going to be offended at. It'd be awful silly of me. It's funny though, but I appreciate the kindness. Okay, here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Cat Pal, got my first order from you in. Everything was great. There was a extra shrimp. They went right to the sand to sift and clean dwarf hair grass very lively, and then colored back up after a few hours. Well, awesome, Cat Power. I appreciate your order, and thank you so much. And I'm glad you gave them a nice, happy new home. Let's see. Half and half. I like it better with you in front of the tank. You talking both fish. Whatever you want, bro beans. And his name is S. I love that. Okay. Jerry says he's watching while releasing rice fish into a 150 tub. Ooh, that sounds like fun. You in the tank, watch fish, back and forth for me. Always fun to look at fish, both fishes. Like to see you, keeps me focused on the video. I feel like talking to the cam better. Okay. But yeah, fish room tours. That's a good thing about this Q&A. Let me get in front of you guys real quick. Mix it up a bit. But anyway, so that is a good thing about these Q&As is I do have, a lot of people can talk, whatever, all this stuff. But here we can actually show you examples and things that actually happen and occur within everyday practice. So we are super lucky in that sense to be able to be mobile and go around to the fish room. That's why I've never really got one of those fixed cameras. I think I'll always keep it like this. But I feel like we were starting to get the service fixed to the point where the quality is starting to keep up. And once again, sorry if I'm missing your guys' questions. As always, I try to do my best to speed read through all of this and pick up what I can. Sometimes I gotta go back and forth because I'm on my phone. Okay, J Red Iron Man says, what model of LES shop lights do you use? Or, well, I'm guessing LED. And how many inches above the aquarium do you keep them to control the algae? So, as far as the shop lights that I use, they are Sunco lighting, I believe. I believe I have a link on my website to the things I use, to the Amazon affiliate and that actually shows you exactly which lights I got. They're the, I believe, 6000K or 6500K, and they were super cheap. And as far as like how far above I leave, it all depends. So here being on a 125, I stick it right on top because you have a lot of depth that you're going to have to get through within that aquarium. But if you have, for instance, boom, 20 gallons or 10 gallons, you're going to want to actually raise the light up off of it, or you're going to end up with a lot of algae. That's actually what my problem is now, because this one went down. I haven't fixed it yet, and that one sits up on top of it. So now I just grow a lot of algae, when used to be, I used to not grow any algae. Like this one, before it went out, it was golden. It worked great. But yeah, usually, in the space I usually give between these, I like to give at least 8 to 10 inches. You don't want to make those too small. Like this is pretty borderline. This may be 7 inches. You go any lower than 7, you're gonna be regretting your life. You'll be like, why did I spend all the time making this? You don't want that. Don't want that. Thomas Glazer, my buddy, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I appreciate you. Thomas says congrats on the 50,000 subscribers. Well, thank you for being here for me and supporting me and help motivating me to keep it on, brother. So thank you so much, Thomas. Thank you. I think it's a victory for all of us. Patrick Nedley, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Always great to see you as well. Patrick says, LRB, my tap HCO is 5.6 kH, GH, 180 TDS with 1 part per million ammonia and 10 part per million nitrate. Considering a RODI system, plants are suffering, fish are good. For general fish keeping, do you think RO system is overkill? So considering you're only at 180 TDS, that's not really hard. You're actually under neutral and you're towards a more acidic side. So really, RO system's not gonna do a whole lot for you besides make it more acidic. I would say maybe your plant suffrage is either from excess light and not enough food. The fact that you have some nitrates and a little ammonia, seems like there's kind of an off balance there. Maybe you also have slow growing plants, too much light, too much nutrients, and so you're getting a lot of algae. Really hard to tell what your situation is right now that is saying that your plants are suffering. Or you bought your plants from a farm and they have to transition. But knowing you, Patrick, I'm pretty sure you know it's best to start with like submerged stuff. And I'm pretty sure you've ordered my plants before, so yeah, really 180 TDS and that type of water, like you should be all right. Maybe do, I don't know what kind of water changes you're doing. Usually good to keep up on a schedule, whether it be 25% a week or 50% every 2 weeks. That reoxygenation is like gold for plants. Anytime you can do a water change to reoxygenate that water to where it's not of excess to be problematic for your cycle and your fish, then the better off you'll be as well. So hopefully, Patrick, this helps you some. And I would not put my money down on a RODI with that type of water. Unless you're going to get into Caridina shrimp, and that's only for the fact that they don't like KH. Chris Pinto, thank you so much for the support again. I appreciate you. Always great to see you in here as well. Says, while on topic, tap water reads 145 ppm. RO waste reads 150. Can I use it for any kind of fish? Hope all is well, brother. I mean, if it's only 150, that's, once again, you're underneath neutral, and that's pretty soft. Our tap water used to come out at like almost 500 TDS.
recently they had to fix it, and now it's only like 300 some. So we have super hard water. So I know all about this battle between the water softness and the RO systems and all that. But for you guys that are sitting in that neutral spot, yeah, you don't have to worry about it unless you're keeping Caridina shrimp that don't like KH. Now GH is really good for plants. KH, yeah, I don't know if it breaks down a lot for the consumption of plants, but it's definitely not going to hurt them. I'm sure they're getting some kind of mineralization from it somewhere. And the acidity water, you guys being on the more neutral and acidic side, is the benefit to that is your water is going to actually break those minerals down. And as your water breaks those minerals down, the plants can uptake them better. But if you try to turbocharge it too much, faster than the plants can uptake it, that's when you get your algae, because excess nutrients, excess light, all that stuff. So try to balance out your light, and it'll give you a lot better result for your plants. And as far as fish don't really care. Like, that's pretty much great for any fish because you're really towards a neutral area. You're not like really hard on one side or really hard on the other side. So you're in a very neutral ground as far as fish. A lot like the waters in Florida where a lot of the farms are. And S, thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate that. That is awesome. And once again, love the name with just the S. Thank you so much. And J-Rad Ironman, thank you so much for the $5 super chat and your support. And always great to see you in here too. Says, thank you so much for all your help and support. Well, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you. And I hope everything is going good with your whole shrimp venture that you're trying to get into. Alright, super scrolling right here as fast as I can. Chris J, 2017, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Says, any advice for keeping your Rivulus beniensis? So they do like to kind of like stay in smaller aquariums. Just because they are a smaller fish, they do prefer shallower water. They do like it more on the softer side. Peat moss is really good for them. And I believe they are peat moss spawners. I'm not 100% sure on how to breed those. I haven't actually bred those. But I'm pretty sure they breed like most Rivulus will. Daniel Velez says, what is happening to the 200-gallon tank with the leak? So that 200-gallon tank is gone. The reef took off with it. And it is to be no more because it was pretty much impossible to fix or not really worth the time. It was right on the bottom. It was like chipped off. So it just was not worth it. It would have been a pain. And I got that tank for super cheap. Like I only got that thing for $500 with that stand. So I was just kind of waiting for that day anyways. But now I got some other cool tanks in there to replace it. What are those fish posters behind you? You know what? I think you're the first person to ever ask me that. And let's turn around here. And holy moly, Dana Harris, thank you so much, Dana. Thank you. Dana, you are awesome. Throwing down the $50 super chat, says, keep up the awesome work, Lucas. You are the man. Well, I appreciate you, Dana. And that is mighty awesome. I could not thank you enough for your awesome and continuous support. But here we have a goldfish poster. So you got all kinds of different goldfish and whatnot. We've got the arowana poster, all kinds of different arowanas. We got the placos. Gotta have the placos, Mr. Placo. Where the funky at? And then we got freshwater shrimp. Definitely, we gotta get the shrimp. I do gotta get better lighting in here. My lighting is not the best in here. I'm actually working on a whole system for that. I've got most of the parts cut, built. I just gotta slap them together. Then, of course, you gotta have the guppies. Then the LRV Aquatics, the poster. Then you gotta have rainbow fish. You know, you gotta have rainbow fish. This is Gary's poster here. Then you gotta have bettas, of course. Then Corydoras. More Corydoras. So within the hall, there's just a bunch of species anyways. And then here's some Priscilla MK art, which I have a bunch of too. There's actually a ton of art down here. I love fish art as well. Here's a Killy painting. You know, I got some around the fish room too. But yes. All right. Let's get a seat here. But that is the hallway. I think that's the first time I really showed that off. Danikin Aquatics, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Always great to see you in here. Hope you guys are doing well, Danny and Ken. And thank you so much. Says, congrats on the 50K, Lucas. You the man. Well, thank you, Kenny. You the man too, brother. I appreciate you. And Danny, you the woo man. Hope you guys are all doing great. All right, Now, once again, sorry if I'm missing your guys' questions. IHSP, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Throwing out the heart. Thank you. Ian's Fish Room says, what kind of algae is in your algae tank? So that really cool algae tank, and I'll show you guys because it is cool. Pectech. It was awesome. Let's see, this last weekend, Pectech was out here. That was really cool. I don't know if some of you guys know who Pectech is, but he's also another YouTuber. And it was really cool to have him out here and finally see the fish room. And it was actually one of his favorites as well. So we'll check this out. Zoom. So here's the algae tank. Oh, get that fan off. But here's the algae tank he was talking about. It is just hair algae. You can see it's finally starting to bush off here. This used to be more cleaned up here. But all it is hair algae, and then air bubble gets trapped into it. And then it creates like that extraterrestrial outer space kind of look. Like it's from another planet. But it is cool. And it's mostly due from just excess nutrients and too much light, if you really want to do that. So let your organics break down, really neglect that tank real well. You can do the same thing. Ain't that right, guys? These guys need a top off. They get them some guppy grass to eat, trying to keep my plants growing in there. Alright, back to questions. A little bit of a glare. What type of heater for outdoor 100-gallon koi pond? So, with the koi pond, you could probably do a horse trough heater or a 500-watt Odysseus. The only thing is, I'd probably go more with the horse trough heater because I don't know how well insulated your 100-gallon koi pond is and how warm you're really trying to keep it. Because without insulation around it, it could be real tricky depending on what region you live in. Andy70 of EW Bus says, how do you think a mix of Limia perugiae, blue-tailed goodiades, and black-chin livebearers would do together in a planted tank? I think the goodiades would definitely outrun the black-chin livebearers and probably eat them. Eventually eat them all. That's my opinion. Let's see. Right, nice CBD art. I love that the CBDs. And Carla, thank you for the tip jar. Tip there, I just got a notification. Thank you, Better Than Television. Once again, sorry I'm missing those questions. Can you show some? I sure can. Rich Townsend, thank you so much for the $10. Not sure if that was a super chat, but if it was, thank you for that. If not, thank you for the order. So we don't have, oh, I got a few guppies in here, like these albino galaxies, but these aren't on the website right now. I should go to the ones that are on the website if you really want to see those. We got like blue star endlers. Ooh, I did bring my flashlight, sweet. These guys are super cheap on the website right now because I got a bunch of them. But really cool, look at those. These are blue star endlers. I think they're only like 15 bucks a pair. All right, we'll go and see some guppies here a second. I did feed the shrimp for you guys too. That way, if you guys wanted to see the shrimp again tonight, they'd be more ready than they were last time. Right, that algae looks like something from the Hubble telescope, right? That's what Peg Tech and I were saying. Let me flip you guys over. So, I did wash my floor yesterday, doing some water changing. I accidentally cleaned the floor. This one, I don't know, for some reason that valve was open. Man, these guys are viciously hungry. Look at that. Like attacking the water. 'Cause it's that time, it's that food time. These are the fire and ice guppies. These things are awesome. Oh, there we go. Alright, well, cherry neos eat bristlenose eggs. I don't think so. I know so many, and if they do, I mean, they both breed like crazy. But there's many people who keep bristlenose and cherries as breeding for profit tanks. So many do keep them together. A matter of fact, I have over here a bunch of blue dreams and bristlenose that breed in here. Oh yeah, see, there you go. A little baby bristlenose. And then shrimp. So I mean, can't keep them together. Some more back there. Little baby bristlenose. And there's other fish in here. Procatopus. This is one of my favorites. The Similis, Procatopus similis. It's kind of like a killifish mixed rainbow thing. Pretty wild. And willow moss. That stuff's crazy cool. Then here's the black, or here's the blue and red sapphire Dumbos. But they're not all Dumbos. They are all beautiful. Even the females have color. Alright. Sean Tomlinson says, happy 50K from me too. Can you tell me what plants will do well in low pH like 5.5? Also, are there any structures in the algae tank, or are the peaks all algae? So all those peaks were all algae within that aquarium. Here, I'll flip you guys over more. Here's some Geisentel. Have you guys ever seen Geisentel guppies? That's what these long thread fin things are on some of these. Of course, now they're all hiding. The tank needs clean. But anyways, panda guppies, as far as 5.5 pH plants, that's pretty soft. That's really, really, really soft. I know Anubiuses are fine with it. Java Fern's fine with it. I believe sword plants are fine with it. Buches, I think, are fine with it. I mean, when you do start getting into that really, really, really acidic water, it can melt some plants, so. Usually the thicker leaf plants do alright, because they can handle it. And actually kind of prefer it. Alright, now, let me get back to these questions. It's really hard to look at all those guppies and stuff and focus on your guys' questions in the chat, because I get just as distracted by the fish as some of you guys may. Especially when they're all hungry like that. Was one of those fish just upside down on the bottom? I don't know. I mean, sometimes when you got hundreds of guppies like that, you're gonna lose one. That's for sure. A lot of fish things happen. I've literally seen fish have heart attacks and have saved fish from heart attacks. Okay, choo, choo, choo. Let's see. I'm gonna try to get to the bottom here. There we are. Okay. Now we got a few here. How are the stag antlers doing? I know last time I asked you, you was getting too many females and running short on males. So after I started breeding them out, they started throwing quite a bit of wild. So I never really offered much of them. I gave a few out. I do have a couple colonies. They're not real big numbers, but I've been getting too much wild male out of them that it's kind of deterred me from doing a whole lot with them. But I have been lining them out. I've got 3 different tanks of them going. I've been trying to work that mutation out of them. We'll see how that goes. Sometimes that can just happen. Sometimes it just takes forever. And so far, taken forever. Hey Lucas, so are you working on breeding Glossolepis maculosus? I am. I've got some, and I actually need to move them. There's actually some right here. Show them to you. These are one of my new favorite rainbow fish. Oh, please don't run. No, no, come back. No! Oh, well. Well, I was gonna show you, but I guess they're shy. They are cool. I've got a few tanks of breedable groups of them going right now. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Best substrate for a fire mouse cichlid. I'm not really sure, Robert Banks. Hopefully somebody in the chat can help out Robert Banks with that question. And for those who are listening, if I see it, I will shout it. Don Inman says, I know you've said before, but what is the big rainbow with the yellow fins? So that guy right there is a goldie eye. He's a Melanitania goldie eye decay rainbow fish. Advice on lowering tap ammonia, the 1 ppm from my tap water. I've lost 2 rainbows and a denison barb doing too large a water change. So about the only, I think you can outgas that ammonia. I'm not 100% sure, but I think if you let it age over like a day or something, like 24 hours, it should be able to outgas that ammonia out of there. I don't know. If anybody else in the chat has experience with that, I never personally have had to deal with ammonia coming from the tap. And even if I did, I have enough plants in most of my tanks. I don't think it'd be much of an issue. But still, I've never had to deal with this, so hopefully somebody with experience in here can help you. Okay. Hi Lucas, can you tell me more about the carbon block system? Does it take minerals and bacteria out of the water? So what mostly it takes out is some sediment, the bigger heavy sediment, heavy metals, and also it will take out your chlorine and chloramines. As far as bacteria and stuff, I don't know if it does a whole lot for that. I think that's why most people run UV sterilizers for those. How are your multis? My multis are doing well. They've been breeding out, and I need to split them up. El Shrimp says, hey Lucas, what advice would you give me on breeding ember tetras? A lot of coverage, darker tank. You don't want much light on it. Very, very dim light, if any. More towards the softer side. And I'd probably do them around 78 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. And they don't take long to breed. You could either musical fish them or try to capture them within a cup in moss. Or like a spawning mop. With like a little tray, plastic tray underneath it. because their eggs aren't sticky. They'll just scatter them around in the back of a corner. I'd probably put that like back in the back corner. Zach Hollenbeck says, how does the moss feel in your hands, or is it harmful to it to touch? No. As long as you're not like mushing it and breaking the tissues of the leaves, then it doesn't hurt it. And the moss feels pretty nice on my hands, actually. I'd bathe myself in moss. It's kind of nice, though. Carter Fry says, how do I get rid of tons of hair algae in a planted tank? I take handfuls out every day. So, if you're battling handfuls of hair algae every day, like you guys saw in that tank, usually what happens is it's just collective nutrients and excess organics that'll help feed off that algae. But the best thing you could do is manually take out what you can. Run your fingers through your plants. Say like there's hair algae all through this. I'd get my hand and I'd run my fingers through it and pull the hair algae that way. And then the next thing I would do is do water change. And as you do that water change, that reoxygenation is actually going to help break up that hair algae and the bits and pieces all around, and also you can siphon it out. And maybe lower the power of your light, or either raise your light up so it's less powerful on the tank, so you'll get less algae. And maybe try to stick to a more consistent regimen of water change. Not maybe like 3 water changes here real fast back to back because you're trying to make up for water changes you didn't do later. It's really hard to make up for water changes you didn't do later. The best thing to do is actually just try to balance that cycle out instead of trying to force more water change to try to catch up, because you'll actually end up, it's like a goose chase for some reason, because it all runs off of cycles. So that's why they recommend to either do it a 1 or 2 week water change. So hopefully that'll help you. But often it's the excess lights and nutrients that is going to constantly grow that hair algae. And you can also add more plants to help combat that. Say you've got a real powerful light, you can't raise it or anything like that. Maybe get you a floating plant like pearlweed, reishi, guppy grass. There's a bunch of them out there you could use. And that will help dim the light down for your plants. Most people actually overlight their plants. That's one of the most number one things we do to cause algae, is to overlight. A lot of these plants hardly even need that much light, honestly. In my experience, I've even grown a lot of plants underneath other plants just because of the lack of the light they need. And there's plants like you would not even imagine, even like Downoi Hellfry. Aquarium's maintained by Andy. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Says, hello, fish people. Well, hello, Andy. And I hope the maintenance is going well for you, brother. And I appreciate the support. Thank you. And scroll, super fast scroll. Make sure I didn't miss anything there. Got that. And IHSP did send 2 $2 super chats. Thank you, IHSP. I did about miss the second one there. So I thought I saw somebody say I missed one. That's what I'm power scrolling. Mark Zona, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Says, sorry I missed most. Will reply it though. Or, well, I'm sure he means replay it though. And hello. Well, hello, Mark. Glad to have you in here now. And thanks for even watching. And thanks for wanting to replay it. And hopefully we can help you within this video. Bears Faces says, anyone know where I can get those hill trout and barbs in Canada? Ooh, I don't know. I would look over on the west coast of Canada, though. If you're going to get them from either side of Canada, you're more likely going to find them on the west coast if you do find them. Or maybe you can do some stealth mission down to Portland and get them from Wet Spot. Michael Hollerbach says, when you start a breed a new type of fish, do you figure out the different tank setups, just experimenting or experience? Christopher Pinto, thank you so much for the big order on lrbaquatics.com. I appreciate you, Chris. Thank you, thank you. Well, I don't really think about them, no. As far as like a lot of my tanks, I usually just set them up, kind of think about where I place the plants. And I mean, after you have so many, I guess when you have a few tanks, it's a little different on how you think about your tank setups. But once you have so many, it's like, oh, I just need a tank for this. Now, if I put certain things in there, I do put certain setups up. So, like if I've got shrimp in there, I'm trying to do my rock piles. Certain fish I try to breed with rock piles, or certain plants too. Especially if you can get a plant that comes from the fish's natural environment. Heiko Blair has an amazing book about this. All my books are upstairs. They used to be down here. But he broke down all the continents, like all the river areas, which plants were in there, what he would find around certain areas. And anytime you can mimic exactly what they did have out in the wild, oh man, your chances of breeding them are a lot higher. That's actually why my algae tanks work really great for breeding, because pretty much in all those waters all around the world, there's one universal plant that's in them all, and that's algae. So I think that's why algae works so well for most all fish, especially for breeding, is that hair algae. All right, let's see. Got that. Oh, how did I get that far up? Hold on, guys. I'm so lost on this chat, and I do not want to skip too much here, because I know some of you guys super chatted. And sorry if I missed it. But I am at the bottom. Would you throw a link to that plant book up? Unfortunately, I am not on a computer. I am on a phone, so I see like 4 of your guys' comment at a time. Not really a whole lot I can do to link for that book. Just type in Heiko Blair on Google, or Heiko Biotope book. I bet if you, and that's Heiko, I believe is how you spell it. If not, Google will correct it and figure out what you're trying to look for. But it is a awesome book. It's not cheap. I did get him to sign mine too, which I was super stoked about. He signed it the real Rainbow King because of Gary Lang, which I thought that was funny. He made it mention to him. It was good. Because they both have been messing around with rainbows a lot. How is your purple shrimp colony doing? So pretty. It's not really doing a whole lot. It's kind of got rainbow fish in it. There is a couple still left, and I'm sure I got purple shrimp around here somewhere. Listening while planting, that's always nice. And Chattanooga Ed, thank you so much for the support, and was great to see you this weekend as well. Chattanooga Ed and Peck Tech and Fish Room Fever were all up here this weekend, up at the Fish Room, doing the whole swap thing for the Circle City Aquarium Club, and I was glad they could make it up. And yeah, thank you, Ed, for the support. I appreciate you. He says, LRB, my new guppies and shrimp are doing great. Well, glad to hear it. I know you gave them a great home, Ed, so thank you for your support and for being here. Really good guy, those people are. That's what I love about this community. Like, the people are so great. Such a zen hobby, you know. And that comes with a lot of good souls. Brings a lot of good people together, and you gotta love it. Gotta love it. Alright, and I am gonna scroll down to the bottom. What is this? CM Sender says I'm going to be setting up my first tank, and I have been fixating on research. I'm hoping to make it goldfish tank. Do you have any plants you'd recommend? I've heard they like to uproot things. So what I would do with like goldfish is you could do sword plants. It's really hard to uproot a sword plant just because they have massive root systems. They're like trees. Um, Goldfish isn't going to uproot a tree, a water tree like an Amazon sword. Java ferns are great. Anubiuses are great. Fuchsia phalangers are great. Mosses are great. There's a lot of stem plants you can do too, because you can even float stem plants. A lot of people think you only got to plant them down, but you can actually float a lot of stem plants. They'll do all kinds of cool stuff. You could also put rocks and barriers around it so the goldfish don't mess with it too much. Some people will even put golf balls in their goldfish tanks so they can play around with the golf ball. I don't know if that's true, but one guy told me that because he had a golf ball in there. I'm like, what do you got this golf ball in there for? But he said they were playing with him, so I don't know. It seems kind of cool. I would try it if I had some goldfish. Gina Ellison says, best tips for first-time neo breeder, long-time fish keeper, first-time shrimp keeper, and a little nervous, haha. So it's natural to be nervous with doing anything new. Anytime you can trust within yourself and quit being so nervous, the more stress and error it can take out of anything because you're not clouded with extra information that's not so much necessary. Sounds like you do have some experience, so as far as knowing your water parameters, that's always good. And if you know about keeping a cycled tank, shrimp love cycled tanks. The more mature and dirty a tank is, the more fish or shrimp love it. And as far as like tips, as far as setup and whatnot, let me flip you guys over. Excuse the lack of light in here. Actually, let's just go into this other room because there is more light. It actually shows it a lot better. Bigger tank too. So what I like to do is use moss. Then there you can see there's a bunch of rocks, rock piles, bunch of moss equals a bunch of shrimp. And I pretty much do that with all my tanks. Or you could use even driftwood. Geez, Wesley. Driftwood can also be a food. So there's rock, moss, driftwood, everything in here. I mean, leaves are good to munch on too. Look at these things. They're so hungry. So hungry. Silent Arama, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Says, right on, stay awesome. Well, thank you, Silent Arama. Appreciate the support, and you stay awesome as well. Stay awesome as well, right? Shrimpskis, I can't wait to change this whole room. It's just going to turn into a shrimp room. I can't wait to do it. I just got to get to it. I got to tear this whole thing down, which is sad because I like it and I spent a lot of time on it, but it's time to move on. Time to move on. Yeah, those are the fire reds. That's the fire red colony. And then this is the blue dream colony. The BDAs, I'm starting to get low on those, so might have to cut those off after a little while here. I do got a few more. I do got another 10 gallon with some in there, but not sure how many. Just, it's always good to have a backup tank. I'll check out the sharks real quick. Dun, 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 dun. These guys are so cool. Alright, let's see. We'll get back to questions. That's right, these guys are really distracting. I'm sure you guys don't mind, right? Sure you guys don't mind. Let's see. It's getting cold out. How's everyone's tubbing going? Asked Carla Molenkamp. Well, mine's gone pretty good considering I don't have to break mine down. I absolutely love the fact that I have an insulated system and can run it all year round. If you guys are interested in more of that, hit up my playlist, and it describes more of what I'm talking about. But it is so nice not having to break that stuff down, because it can be a bit of work. I know Rachel O'Leary spent a lot of work and effort on it herself. So depending on how many systems and setups you have. Yeah, beautiful operators. Love them. Alright, let's go check out those yellows. Oh, hello. What are you doing? Corydoras. See, this is the thing with Corydoras, no filter, and sand tanks. So kick all that out. Look how clean the sand is. The sand's nice and clean, but the mulm all ends up here. But then the guppies, if you got enough in there, they'll pick at that mulm and whatnot. But you guys want to see some shrimp? These things are fire right here. Whew. These yellows. Look at these things. Thank you, Candy, for posting that up. Appreciate you. What are they? Synodontis petricola? Yes. Or well, Synodontis. Yeah, they are petricola. Petricola? No, what's the other one? I got a brain fart on that now. Ken Cunningham says, I'm trying to set up a snail-only tank for a puffer. What is the best way to do this? Really hard water, lots of calcium, lots of food. Driftwood's good because they can always constantly eat it. As well as, what is it, leaves and whatnot, organics. Look at that moss. But they do like really, really, really hard water. Tyler Fuston, always great to see you in here. Thanks for the support, brother. Throwing down the $5 super chat, says, I'll be buying from you soon. Gonna tear down the 20 and start all over. Well, all right, all right. I appreciate the support, Tyler. Thank you, thank you. And good luck with your restart, and I hope you get it how you like it. Patrick Nedley, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Here we'll go to the coal shrimp tank. See if I can get a light on these guys. Says, congrats on the 50K. My daughter checked out a tropical freshwater aquarium fish book from the library. Start them off young. She loves your shrimp. Well, that is awesome. That is so awesome. And it's so great when a family can get into this hobby together, too. And it can teach a lot about life. Oh my God, what is that? That's a green rilly. You guys see this right here in the middle? I've never seen a green rilly like that. You guys see that? That's a first for me. But Patrick Nedley, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. This guy right here, if you didn't see it. I've never seen one of those before, ever. That's cool. I wonder if there's any more. Because there's actually yellow rillies in here. And I wonder if that's how I got it. Because, oh shit. Excuse my language. There is, right there. There's a male and a female. And there's a male green rilly breeding up on a, like, green yellowback thing. Wow. That is cool. Okay, so yellow rillies are actually really rare to begin with. And the fact that I threw them in here with the blue and the greens, which if you mix blue and yellow together, you get the green shrimp. But the yellow rilly must have got a hold of a blue shrimp, and they must have started creating some really crazy stuff. Look at this like white one right here. That guy is awesome. Let me turn this light off. There's a couple cool white ones. All right, well, holy moly, that's cool. That's pretty cool right there. Yep. All right, let me scroll here. Sorry, the quality is not the best. It's really hard to capture these guys. Here we go. See, there we go. We can get up to them now. Oh, that looks so much better. Green rilly. And yeah, these coal sections I mean, this is what it comes out of these tanks. Okay, let's see here. Oh, whoa, super chats. Tyler Fuston, thank you again for more support and the super chat. Let me see if I can get this other. Yeah, here we go. Says, so glad to see you hit 50K, man. Been watching for 2 years now and just want to say you deserve it. Well, Tyler, I appreciate you, brother. Your support has been absolutely amazing. And once again, without you guys, I could not be here and be doing this like I'm doing it. So thank you. And yeah, quite the milestone. I've been waiting for this moment for quite some time. And Streetwise, throwing down the $5 super chat, says, I let my tubs go down to 52 degrees in hard water outdoor tubs. Moved white clouds and shrimp inside. Well, interesting, Streetwise. And I can see that. I think if it's like a real long time, it becomes more problematic. I have seen shrimp actually in water that was frozen over and still barely moving. So they can live in real cold temps. It's not ideal. But the white clouds, they don't care. They'll go live in really cold water too, as long as it doesn't freeze over, I think. But I've had them in temperatures of like 32 degrees. Like the water was actually it was like 30 degrees. It was below freezing temp, but it wasn't freezing for some reason. I think it's just because the top was on it. It was kind of weird. You can see there's a red lily there too. What is this guy? Wild looking. Shrimp galore. But thank you so much for the super chat. You guys are absolutely awesome. And always great to see you around too, Streetwise. Jessica Hussey, yes. I did get the driftwood. Thank you so much for that driftwood. That is really, really awesome of you. And I saw that was not cheap to ship either. So I really appreciate you, Jessica. Because you didn't have to do that, but you did. And I love you for it. So thank you. Ron Harriman says, how about guppies in cold water? They don't really do cold water very well. They can do it for like maybe a moment, but not for a long time. Definitely not for a long time. Now I do have a different kind of coal setup going up here where this is a different sort of mix. Let's see. Yeah. Look at that guy. Shrimp galore. I don't know. Well, we are over the hour mark. And look at it. They just keep going back. This never-ending skrittle tank. All up in this guppy grass, too. They're everywhere. Look at this guppy grass. You guys need guppy grass? $3. I'm selling it dirt cheap because I got a ton of it. But you guys are absolutely amazing. Like I said, and I'll say it again, I could not do this without you guys. So I appreciate you all, and I'm so sorry if I missed some of your guys' questions here. I am about to jet, but Fish Whisperer, Miles, thank you so much for the $1 super chat. Because I got to get these fish fed. Like, these rainbows are hitting this great. Like, feed me. They'll start hitting. Actually, we'll feed the rainbows a little bit while we're here. Just don't expect me to answer questions so much. But we can enjoy some feeding, right? It's always fun. Make sure I'm caught up on these. Mark Zona, thank you so much for the $10 super chat once again for the support. Says, have a good night. You too, brother. I appreciate you. And until next time, for now, we're going to do a little feeding. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Come on. Is that it? You're not going to give me any more than that? Oh, okay. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Act like you want it. Because I know you guys are good at that. Oh. There we go. Oh. Got me. Right in the hand. Yum. Well, thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate you all, and I can't believe we hit 50K. Whoop. It's pretty exciting. Now on to 100K, right? Now I do over here, since I do have Cory cats and swordtails and stuff in here, since these guys are crazy eaters, I do always try to put some over here where this log is on top. I usually hit like right here, and right there. That way everybody will fight over here, then the fast ones will end up chasing over here, which leaves food for the slower ones. But now you can see there's food all over the tank, so everybody's getting what they need to get. But I love you guys. Thank you all for the support, watching, and all that stuff. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Till next time, everybody. Peace. Have a great one.